Good morning, everybody. This is Javier again with your next Chinese character of the day. And today we're gonna go over a very simple character that you have seen, and it's very common in Mandarin. However, in Japanese and Hanja Korean, it's a little bit more difficult to understand, and the definitions are somewhat different. However, we're gonna go over to the primitive again and see the picture and understand how they all relate and where is the original meaning come from. So let's get started. So today's character, it's gonna be this one. As you may know, the definitions are many. One of them is to be. Another one is right or correct. And sometimes it means to exist too, because it's a verb. So those are the definitions that we know nowadays. So some of you may understand the connections between all of them, but I'm going to explain the primitive and to see where they all came from and why nowadays is so different. So without saying more, let's go over to the primitives and let's see the connections between them. So the first character that I want to go over from here, I'm going to write it here, is this one. So that character means sun. That's why I drew the picture of the sun. The primitive character, of which sun derives from, is pretty much the same thing. Nothing has changed. However, in the ancient characters, some speculate that the sun came from this, saying that this was the dot and these were the rays of the sun. I can see that. I can see how that can be. But here I drew the sun so you can understand that this is the character that means the sun. And now I'm going to explain the different character, the lower character, this one over here. And so let's write it again. This little character right here means correct or right. So to draw the primitive, it's gonna make a little bit more sense of what it looks like. So the primitive is as such. So some of you may start noticing already the similarities between that and the picture here. It's very similar to a person running. Here are the feet, and here is the hand, and there is no head. The reason, I have no idea, but that character actually means to stop. So you can say, well, how does that mean to stop? It looks like they're running. Well, all I can think about is there is a hand. This one right here, it's the hand that tell themselves to stop. So, going with that, there's also the character on the top. this one. And that actually is the character of righteousness, the path. So the person is running, but then, his hand is up, hopefully to tell himself to stop, and then choose what is the path of righteousness. So it's like being in a hike, and then you come at a dead end, and then you find two other paths, and then you have to choose, well, which one is the one that's right. So that's where the character of correct and right comes from. So it's a person stopping, and then they decide to contemplate and see, okay, what is the right path? So again, remember, these characters are symbolic, they have a lot of metaphors, so do not take them as literal as they are. Just try to see the picture and the symbolic meaning behind. So that's where they came from. So again, let me put right here, path of righteousness. And I'm not feeling like spelling everything. So now we can see where this character now comes from. So let's put them together. And to get the essence of the character, that's what it's going to say. What the sun exposes is true. So again, writing the characters together. In the primitive section, here we have the sun, and then we have the path, and then the person stopping with the hand in front of his face. And then I'm going to write it in the modern writing, so maybe you can see the comparisons and some of the differences. So think about the essence again. What the sun exposes is true, because you have the sun right here, and you see the rays of the sun shining, and then you have the truth right here in this statue. Because if you can think of it in a very simple way, when the sun comes up from nighttime, you can see everything again. Like, the sun is also symbolic meaning in the ancient language or the ancient times as something that exposes us the truth, because it's the light of things. And then what you can see from the sun is of course truth, because in the darkness we're lost, but at light we're guided. We know what we're doing, we can see everything, and everything is right in the sense. So that's why I put the sun behind the statue, and this statue is the statue of righteousness. Hence, some of the words can mean just, but we'll get to that in a bit. So think about that. Think about as the sun rises the horizon after a long dark night, now everything is being exposed. Hence, what the sun exposes is true. So let's recap a little bit of the character. Here's the modern writing, and here is the primitive writing, and hopefully you're starting to see more of the picture. And these are the meanings when this one came about, when they were creating this character. So the meanings are truthfulness, which implies justice. And then the other meaning is existence and reality. So if you can think of the modern meanings now, which mean just or right and to be, you may start to see now what is it that is similar. And if you remember the phrase, the essence, what the song exposes is true, you're going to understand what the character is trying to say. So anytime you see that character, whether it be in the language books of Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, Chinese writing, that is going to be the essence of the character, and you're going to understand that it has to do with something being right, something being true, something being of existence. So I think that's all I have for you today. I hope this character makes sense. Now that when you see it, that's what it's going to guide you to right definition. Again, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time for the next character. Thank you.